Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Dankasourusrex here, and today I'm going to start a new series on the game Sunless Sea. Now, I got this game on Steam for $19, and I really like it. So today I'm going to put the first video of it up, and it's going to be just how to get started off. And so let's get started. Now, this game it's quite hard, but at the same time, it's really fun. I mean, yeah. So, okay. Let's get started. New game, yes. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, anyways, so let's get started on this. So, when you start on the game, wait, let me just turn down the volume because it's pretty loud. God. Okay, whatever. Okay, so when you start out in the game, I'm going to just show you what you got. So, this part up here where my cursor is where your, how your speed, so -1 and -2, that means how fast you're going in reverse, and 1 and 2 is how fast you're going forward. Okay, so anyways, this is your fuel right here. This is how much fuel you have in each barrel or in your engine. Now, this is really important because you don't want to run out of fuel. And if you do, you're going to be stuck in the ocean forever, basically. It's going to be really hard for you to get back to a place where you can buy fuel. Now, this part where the fire part is, this is the engine temperature. This part is actually really important too. You don't want to have the engine temperature really hot because it will start a fire on your boat. The next thing we got here is our hunger bar. Now, right there where it says 5, that's where you have your supplies, which is basically like your food, and yeah. And once your hunger reaches to this point right here, that is when you eat one of your supplies or use up one. Now, another thing we have is the hull. And this is going to be important when you get in fights with other, like, let's say, like, mobs or pirates or whatever. You're going to take damage. And this is important you need to maintain it, let's just say. Now, the next thing we have is our logbook. And this is just basically updates. When you do stuff, it updates your thing and it shows you. Right here we have our this bottom area. This is just some options, and yeah. One thing that a few of the last things that we have is this row of stuff. You got right here. This is like your officers for your ship, and you have one mascot, which is there. You have a surgeon, a gunnery officer, a cook, a chief engineer, first officer, and yourself. Now, when you start in the game, you don't have any of these except for the mascot and the captain or yourself, and that's why you have to buy them, and you gradually get better. And once you have all of them, you're basically set. Now, the next thing we have is hearts, and hearts basically, well, the next thing I'm going to show you is just the stats. Hearts basically just helps you, like, inspire your crew, and it helps defend a little bit and heal. The next thing we have is veils. Veils really improves your evasion abilities in combat, which is like maneuvering around, and that will help when your enemy's trying to attack you. It basically really does speed, stealth, and deception. The next thing we have is pages. Pages increases the speed at which you convert fragments to secrets. Now, I'll talk about this later, because it's more advanced than everything else, I think. Next thing we have is mirrors. Mirrors basically improves the illumination abilities in combat, which is because for many weapons in the game, you need a certain amount of illuminability until you can fire your weapons, and that will help make it go faster. The second last thing we have is iron, which just basically does attack damage in combat, and that's important. The last thing is your crew members, and that's what it sounds like. That's how many crew members you have. Like when you start in the game, you have 8 out of 10. The last thing that is pretty important is this book thing right here. Now, when you start out, you're gonna go through this page. I'm just gonna read it out. Captain's making. 3 decades ago, in the region of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. Now it lies a mile below the surface. That's not important. What's important is the vast black sea beyond London, a sea which is yours to explore. Now, for this, I'm just going to choose a path. So the street urchin it basically boosts your veils, which helps you evade your enemies. You could choose to be a poet, and a poet improves your pages, which levels you up faster, and yeah. You can be a veteran of the campaign of 68, which gives you a bonus of iron, which is attack and damage. A priest gives you hearts, which is basically healing and inspiration. Or you can be a natural philosopher, which gives you the ability of mirrors, which basically is the illumination skill. Now, I would suggest starting out with a street urchin, because veils is probably one of the most important. Now, when you start out, when you choose your thing, you automatically start out with halfway to max. And the max is 100, and you get 51. But anyways, when you choose it, you get 51, and that goes for every other one. So if you choose a poet, you would get 51 pages, the skill of pages, and yeah. Now, when you start out, you're basically starting out a new character, and that's important. Now, the next thing that you really have to do is choose an ambition, and that basically is what your character wants to, what's his ambition, basically, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can have fulfillment or wealth. I would suggest starting out with fulfillment because that's the one that has to do with exploring, and that's pretty fun in this game. So once you do that, just keep on going. Now the next thing is just going by what you want to be called. I think we should do my Lord Dankasourusrex, because that's a pretty cool name. Dankasourusrex. I'm sorry about that. In the background, my cousins are yelling all around. Anyways, I think the best thing that would basically be us would be this, because it's pretty dank, I must say. Pretty weird and awesome, like Dankasourusrex. Okay, when you start out, you basically okay. Anyways, guys, so this will be the first episode in the series of Lost at Sea, or whatever it's called, Sunless Sea, and yeah, until then, I'll see you next time where we will continue our series. Thanks for watching.